Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. I'm not sure how to start this, but did Man City get embarrassed at their home ground? And did we actually disrespect Ange Postecoglou? He knows what he's doing, and we don't know actually. For the people that said you shouldn't do that and you can't do this, he did it. He got a result. He probably maybe could have won actually. And Pep Guardiola getting it wrong. Chelsea today, controversial win, but deserved, showed resilient. Finally, they're getting a result, convincing against Brighton. I don't know, to be honest. Liverpool, sensational comeback. Trent is an absolute amazing midfielder. He isn't a right back, people. He played as a lone six today, and he proved it to everybody. But I'm here with a fantastic panel, of course. Jamie's here, Alex, Will, and Vator will be here. I don't know where he went, but he's going to be back. 100 people right off the bat, so hit that like button, people. If you just joined us, we're here to discuss the game, not only banter and shit and all the stuff, but I really want to actually dissect what happened in that Man City Spurs game, what actually happened. Chelsea with some of the controversial decisions, but maybe it's all right. You know what I mean? Like something to go their way, right? And also that Simon Hooper guy with that controversial call. It's kind of strange, but how's everybody doing? Well, Alex, you should be happy. Why you're not happy?
Oh, I'm happy. I just don't know why you keep sticking controversial thing in it. What's controversial
It's
about
not.
it?
It wasn't.
No. What? A penalty should be a penalty. So that's all the only thing.
Well, everybody else thinks otherwise, but fine. It could have been given. I
Okay.
didn't. I don't think it should have been overturned for a penalty, but fine. We'll talk about it. And I think maybe Caicedo should have been sent off. Maybe.
I
You don't
agree
think
with you. Milner should be sent off. So yeah,
I don't
looking
think
to go.
Milner should have been sent off. Double jeopardy. He should have
Yeah,
been sent
2
off.
yellows. He put the player in the head like before. That should be a yellow card.
So you're arguing 2 yellows. But anyway, we'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
I'm
We'll
not
talk about it.
exactly.
We'll talk
I don't
about
think
it.
there's much
People,
to go.
it's 200 people already. Thank you for people that joined from Hossam's stream. Hit that like button for us, people. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that like button. Vator only Mo understands fluent treble. Yeah, Vator is here. Listen, I'm not gonna listen. I have been speaking for 2 hours now, and everything we spoke about was about that decision at the end and all that what happened. And I want to get this out of the way. It was absolutely atrocious decision, but I don't think it's a conspiracy theory for a couple of reasons. It's not as blatant as the Arsenal goal and the Newcastle game. That's my opinion. And it's not as blatant as the Liverpool goal against Spurs. So if we're going to say conspiracy against Man City, well, they just did it to Liverpool, which is title contenders as well. So to get that out of the way, well, I'm going to go to you for this decision. Do you think it's a wrong decision? Of course, like he actually did play on, and Jack Grealish was on for the goal.
Yeah, I mean, I to be honest with you, I haven't watched it back since, like in depth and detail. But with those, like, a referee doesn't have to give what do you call it? Why am I drawing a blank?
Advantage.
Advantage, yeah. He doesn't have to give it. That's just the laws of the game. He can if he wants, but he doesn't have to.
If
That's just a fact.
It's playing with the words, but fine.
Yeah,
he literally gave an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
He literally said advantage because he saw Haaland on his feet. So he already did it. And once Haaland played the ball, he looked up and called the free kick. So I get what you're saying. If he called the free kick, when the first time I watched it, I thought he actually whistled. He didn't whistle. He called advantage. So he already gave the decision for advantage. And the ball was played through to Jack, which is, by the way, I don't believe Jack Grealish would have scored that because I don't think Jack Grealish is faster than any of them. This is just my opinion. He was halfway line. You can argue that. It's not a goal and it got chopped off. It was 1-on-1, yes, but at the end, he called it.
It wasn't a half line either.
It was a circle. Wasn't it in the circle?
It was the backside of the center
in
circle.
the circle, Alex.
And the keeper was way off his line. Like
so
Jack.
You think Jack Grealish would have chipped him?
It's not even a chip. There was so much. It would have been not even like it. No finesse required.
First of all,
he was way off his line.
Haaland was right beside him. It doesn't mean that he couldn't pass it to Haaland. Haaland was still running.
He was still running. But Jack was clear. Jack was clear.
Yeah, I think Jack would have, especially. Yeah, I think he could get the goal.
You think Jack would outpace all of them? Really? That's kind of strange, but fine.
It's not necessarily about outpacing. He just would have had to kept him on his back and continue.
By the way,
on.
Emerson Royal stopped running when he heard the whistle, and he was 2 feet behind him. By the way, Emerson Royal, when he whistled, yes, Jack Grealish was the head of all of them.
I think we're going
But
into
two of them-
semantics. The decision was wrong.
Yes,
in
the
the first
decision is wrong.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I agree with
place. So
you.
just
But
forget
it's
about
not,
it.
But it can't be wrong because he can blow the whistle at any time he wants to stop play. He's the ref.
No, he's in the right to do what he wants as a referee. But looking at what happened in terms of the play,
We'll
he
see
was
if the
wrong
apology
to have-
comes
he was
in.
wrong to have stopped it. Like
That's all I'm
I
saying.
think he's going to get demoted. I actually think Simon
Yes.
Cooper, this is his last game in the Premier
Exactly.
League for this for a long time.
Let me say this as a City fan, because we City fans, we don't harp on referee calls. We know they come and go. It's going to be in our favor, not in our favor. We deal with it. We don't do the cry. But
Because you don't get many. That's why.
But I don't get. Okay, can I say
Yeah, they're
later
not
before?
Liverpool, that's for
a
sure.
lot go
Later.
against us.
Yeah, before you go on, this notion that every Man City fan come here and tell me that we don't complain about them, but most of your fan base, your actual star, Erling Haaland, himself tweeted the video.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So you can't tell me that we don't complain. You complain. You do complain. Talk about yourself.
No. There's putting the video out to be like, what do
He
you?
said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
He literally said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So that's complaining about the
No,
referee.
Mo. No.
How
What is
that
going
not
on here?
complaining?
No,
Am I wrong here, people?
Mo, when I'm asking what's going on here, what the heck is happening? What the F?
So you're
is-
complaining about the decision?
No, I'm asking for clarity, Mo. I'm asking for clarity.
Oh my god!
What the?
No, that's dissent. It's in the law, cursing on the pit. Like I know everybody does.
No,
it, but
he
it's
said it
basically in the law.
on a tweet. He said, "What the
He
fuck?"
said
on
it
a
on
tweet.
tweet.
He
It was
tweeted
on
the video
social. He was
and
on
said, "What the
social.
fuck?"
But Mo,
I think Haaland might get suspension because of
He
that
might.
as well.
He actually might.
If we're going by what happened, with Virgil when he swore at a ref on the pitch and he got extra game.
it wasn't
He's
at the
done that
ref.
on
He
social.
did not
Yeah,
add
but
the ref
when you
in the
speak
tweet.
in press
Guys, you're going too
conference,
far.
and okay, so here's the deal. I don't want to dwell on this because I really want to talk about the game.
Hmm.
When you complain about the referees, like Mikel Arteta in a press conference on a social media, you get fined or suspended, right? Haaland taking it to social media to do that. He's a public figure. He needs to know better. He should not have done that.
Again,
I actually don't. I think the decision is wrong, but I don't think he should
I
have
think
done that.
I think the decision's wrong, but the problem is with these referee calls is it comes down to his thing. Like if he saw the thing, maybe thought Jack Grealish was offside and blew his whistle, even if he wants to take that whistle blow back, he can't. Once he blows it, it's
This
blown.
is the only explanation that he thought that
Yeah.
Jack Grealish is offside. This is the only explanation.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
It's the
I thought he
only
was offside.
explanation.
I haven't
And
looked
I
at it
thought
to
in the
see if
beginning
he
that he's
was.
offside. So
but
that's
here's the problem, and here's why it's frustrating when we look at what the refs' decisions. They're supposed to work in tandem.
yeah.
He can obviously have his linesman, assistant ref, to look whether the flag's raised or not. From his angle, he has no need. He has no right in terms of positioning from a referee to make that call. He's got teammates, referee, assistant
That's not
teammates.
true
to do
though.
that.
The center ref is in charge of the entire game. The assistant referees
Not
don't
the offside
overrule-
But for
line.
an offside
Yes,
call.
even offside call. Offside call.
No, not in the
Balls in and
stop.
out?
No,
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
I don't
The center
care.
referee is
No.
the
But Alex,
authority on the
he's
pitch.
actually wrong. Actually, the referee himself has the authority to
overrule
overrule
anything.
a flag
It's
raising.
overall.
Yeah, he can overrule it,
But
but
I think we're dwelling. We're
Yeah.
dwelling on something. Let's talk about the game. Forget the referee. That was a wrong decision. It happened to Liverpool, more blatant.
That's to
It
everyone.
happened to
That's to
Chelsea
everyone.
before.
yeah,
And it
we
happened. It
don't
happened
crack,
to
we don't crack.
Spurs. It happened to Arsenal. It happens to everybody. That's not the reason Man City drew the game. Man City were not good this game. Spurs were a better team, especially in the second half. Why I'm saying that? Because it's your home ground. No, I'm not saying that because you hit the post twice. You created chances, but no team should come to City's ground and have more position, pin you in the back line, especially for a whole half. They actually did that. They literally did that. In the first half, these are the facts that I'm going to let you guys go. In the first half, this game is two halves. This is my opinion now about the game. And people that didn't hear me before in Hossam's stream. In the first half, Manchester City had 60% possession, 65 versus Spurs at 35. And Postecoglou sat back, defended deep, and hit on the counter twice. One worked, one didn't work. He conceded 2 goals. In the second half, in the dressing room, he said, you know what? This City team is not as strong as we think. We can actually play our game. We can get out of the back. We can play. Bissouma was instrumental. By the way, the fact is Spurs had 60% ball position in the first 25 minutes of the second half. They were playing rondos around Man City's midfielders. Rondos, if you know what rondo is. The stats show it. The number of passes, the amount of times Kulusevski got one-on-one on Gavardiol on that side, the amount of times Lo Celso was behind Rodri, the amount of times Rodri was isolated. That because Pep told everybody to press, and Spurs had the capacity and had the quality to bypass that press. That's why they had more position. And that's when Pep told his team to sit back. You had everybody behind the halfway line. City, that doesn't happen often. You can go watch the first 25 minutes. Go watch the positional. Watch where your team were in the first 25 minutes of the second half. 60% versus 40% position. And most of your team were behind the halfway line. Most of your team. You tried to press, and when they bypass the press, you drop back deep. Let me get Will's opinion about how Spurs approach the game, and then we'll go to you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's totally a game of two halves, right? And I know that's said a lot on YouTube when it's an easy answer, but I think in this case, it's exactly right? Yeah, like Mike Mo said, 62% to 38% or something like that. Just depends on the site you look at. In the first half, and the second half, 54 to 46 or something like that. 55 to
45 for you.
Yeah. So it's, and then like shots on goal, we had 3 shots on goal. They had 2. You know, I think they had better quality chances in that second half.
They didn't have a quality chance in the second half. I can't remember. In the first half, they did. They hit the post twice in the first half.
In the first half, Emerson Royale, I thought was a secret agent. I thought he came out of the tunnel with an Arsenal kit on for a second, because he was just basically giving the ball to their forwards in that first half in our box, just giving to them. Here you go, take it, have a shot on goal. Second half, we came out, did a little bit better. Look, I mean, this is the second time in a row now where we have been laughed at. Second game in a row for being laughed at for having been, playing a high line or being aggressive and coming out. People said that better teams were going to obliterate us. But they haven't. They haven't yet. We've played almost everybody. We have played everybody in the top 6 right now, bar Newcastle, because they just moved into it. And nobody's done it to us. So does that excuse for rivals hold water anymore?
Listen, I was one of few to say, you know what, Ange's approach needs to be consistent. He needs to see whether his players can play for him, play what's asked of them. So even when many want to crash it on you with regards to the Chelsea result, it was just maybe situational. Maybe you realized that your approach needed to change near the 90th minute. But in terms of philosophy and being consistent, I praised him for it. And versus us now, looking at this game, it was really frustrating from a City standpoint to know that you guys weren't at full strength and still playing at that level in our house. So I was never comfortable, regardless of us being up a goal. I was never comfortable, and I was really frustrated with all of the shots that were going off the post, going off the crossbar, or just being missed. I was not comfortable with it because there was something in the air. There's always something in the air versus Spurs. I would also say this: if you guys healthy continue, and you've shown that with not being healthy, you're following your manager's decisions and instructions. You healthy, you guys are a problem. You guys are clearly going to be a problem because you're doing it during your most difficult times. You're trusting your manager when you're looking across and you don't have the body. So it was the first thing that I said when I was on Terry's channel. I was like, you know what? Shout out to Spurs. They played a really tough game, and I think it was a deserving draw. And I think that the early demise of Spurs, it's unwarranted because it's due to not having your players. So yeah, I'm disappointed with the game. We'll talk more about it. But with regards to Spurs and their approach towards us at the Etihad, I got to tip my hat. They fought hard.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing for me because, everybody told me it was suicide, right? It was stupid. It was naive. It was rash. It was harsh or whatever terms people use. They said if you did that against City, you're gonna get obliterated. And everybody predicted 4-1, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0.
I mean, it could have been 3-1, 3-2 pretty early.
But you did get beat on the counter. Well, they did have chances when you tried to press in the first half, when you didn't sit back. So here's the difference that people want to just. I know what you're saying, that you played the football that you wanted, especially in the second half. But in the first half, every time you tried to press and they bypassed your press, they were very dangerous. They were very, very dangerous. Manchester City just didn't make the right
Most of their
decision.
chances came from us giving the ball away on their counter press. Like on their
No, I
pressing
actually
us.
think when you tried to press, they bypassed the press and it was 3-on-3, 4-on-4. They didn't make that's
Pedro
that's
Porro-
on
hold on,
City.
hold
Hold on. They didn't make the right decision. That's on City's players. Foden was looking for the dribble. Haaland was looking for the wrong pass. But when they bypassed the press, Doku wasn't on his game. Pedro Porro stopped him. Credit to him. But for me, City were making the wrong decisions when they bypassed your press. This is why your manager sat back, by the way, because he saw the danger. Didn't you think that your manager in the first half sat back?
I thought we couldn't get out.
No. When City had the ball, you started pressing early, and then after that, you sat back. You let them have the ball. The stats show that. You just said that.
That stats show that they have more, but it doesn't mean that they got
Go look at
orders
the heat
to
map of
sit
the
back.
first half. Go look at the heat map of the first half.
No, but what I'm
From
saying
That's
for,
not what I'm saying. You
no,
can
what I-
stand in the back based on orders, or you can stay in the back based on what you were pressed against it.
yeah.
Say that
So
again.
we-
I'm sorry, Alex. I'm
Okay,
sorry. Say that again.
you can be the heat map can show you that you in this position based on two things: either you get pressed against it and you couldn't get out, or you stay deep, which I don't believe he did.
In the
I
first
think
half,
way
they
of press.
did. No, they did.
No, they pressed. Some pressed.
Some in phases, but not the whole time.
No,
In
I just
phases.
didn't think we could
Just
get
let me
out
know
of the press.
when I
We
can say
couldn't
about the
break.
game,
We
so I will
couldn't.
say it.
We
Yeah,
couldn't
go
break
ahead.
their. We couldn't break their press. Is what I
I
saw
don't want to
when I
interrupt.
watched it.
That's all.
So when I watched it, what I saw is them. We couldn't break their press. Emerson Royal had a hard time getting out of the back. Ben Davies had a hard time getting. Basuma couldn't break their press. Every time Basuma got pressed, he was giving the ball away. That's what I saw in the first half. So
Same
Emerson,
thing.
for example, had five losses of possession. All of those losses of possession were in the first half, and they were in the first 20 minutes of the first half. Like it was impossible for us to get out of our half when we had possession of the ball. We tried to play out of the back and did a really bad job at it, is what I saw. Then the few times that we did get into their half, a lot of times what would happen is that we would try to build up down the right. And when that would break down, we'd find that switch to Ben Davies, and he would end up having 15, 20 yards of space in front of him. He was able to push down, pass it into Brian Hill, who would get knocked over by Kyle Walker, cry to the referee, and then get back up and run around, shake his hair and his dirt mustache. And he would do all of those. That's how I saw that breaking down. And it just happened to be Brian Hill playing to Kulusevski to a switch to Son running from that right-hand side after having dropped deep that caused. Like it was a counter attack, but it's not because we were playing a low block and hitting them on the counter.
But just, are you gonna say something?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
You want to go ahead, you guys. You wanted to say something.
I was just going to say that what I watched today, there's two things. Man City weren't as clinical as they usually are. That first half could have been over in that first half. They were more clinical. You're not used to seeing that from City. And the second part is that there's something about City defensively this season. Their balance ain't quite right at the back. You can get at this City team this season, and teams are starting to show that now. If you're brave enough, because you have to be brave against City because what they do the other way. But if you're brave enough and you want to willing to have a go like Tottenham did, you can get at this City team defensively. They've got a player playing at left back at the moment who for some reason is not getting digged out enough. And he cost a lot of money in the summer. And for me, he hasn't put in that many good performances this season. He really hasn't. But is that down to him or him playing out of position? The balance in their back line is just not quite right at the moment. He's trying to experiment with something with Kyle Walker. I think you just got to keep Kyle Walker in that right back position because he's the best around. Just don't let him go past the halfway line because that's when it gets a bit weird. Keep him defensive. That's what I'm seeing with City. And I personally, I've said this all season, I don't think City had a great summer window. I don't think they had a great transfer window this summer. I think the ones they've let go are such good footballers. It's very hard to obviously replace them players because they're top draw. I don't think they replaced them well enough this summer, and I think teams are now starting to look at City thinking they're an exceptional side, best in the world still without a doubt. But this season we can actually
Are they
get to
though?
them.
Are they though? That's the question.
I think that you still got to say they're number one because Europe is so crap at the moment. Let's face it. You know, there's not a lot of great top teams in Europe like there was a few years ago, in my opinion. And I think City and Real Madrid are still the top two in Europe at the moment. You've got to put Arsenal in there maybe as well. But yeah, I think for the first time you can get at City, and I think that will drive Pep a little bit mad because he wouldn't like this.
But he
Pep
actually
seems to
signed the
be
players,
defensively.
guys. So he did bad in the summer. That's what you're saying.
I don't think they had the best transfer window. I just don't.
I'll say this about the transfer window because to have players like Mahrez and Gundogan go, there's no way I'm finding that in the transfer market and I'm replenishing it. And I think even looking at it, and maybe as a Liverpool fan, I respect your point of view because you look at the exits that you have, whether it's been attacker and midfield, you don't quite get it right in one transfer window. It takes time for even players to gel. And what's killing me right now is I think I would be calm. I wouldn't be stressing. I wouldn't be worried about Aston Villa right now if I did have one of my two, whether it was John Stones to fix up that defense or KDB to really make sure that midfield was organized. Those two out, and the fact that the players that we signed this summer in Nunez and Kovacic aren't up to the races yet. Yeah, you look back on the transfer window, you're like, you guys just won the trouble. You just let Gundogan and Mahrez go, and
I don't think Mahrez was the problem for you to let go and well, like he's not even missed. I think the only person is missed is Gundogan.
Mahrez is missed because he would actually.
Mahrez has always spent most of his career at City at the bench, so I don't think he's actually that missed. But his quality, don't get me wrong, but you're missing Gundogan. I don't care what you say, you're missing Gundogan.
Oh no,
I'll agree. Problem, but the most you miss is Gundogan. Here's for me that actually.
Can I do the super chat and then let you speak, Alex, without interruption? Yes?
Go ahead.
Okay, Raz here is saying Çalhanoğlu goal today was incredible. If you haven't watched the Çalhanoğlu goal, just go watch that goal. We smoked Napoli 3-0 at their ground.
I watched it, yeah. It was good.
It's freaking amazing. Thank you so much, Raz, for the super chat. Queen Nadra saying oil money didn't work this time. Plastic fans complaining.
Plastic fans doesn't bother me.
Super chat.
Doesn't bother me. It's all good.
Doesn't bother you. Our first half press was ruthless. MCFC Solo saying story of the season so far is not killing off games. Facts, we are not losing when we're giving up 3-4 goals is a positive. What? You're giving 3-4 goals a game and you're saying it's positive.
The fact that we can match giving up 3-4 goals, I can see him seeing.
I like the glass half full. I like it. I love that from people. I love that. If that was my team and I conceded 3 against anybody and I consider myself the best team in the world, I'll be freaking fuming. By the way, especially being up 3-2 and then the game.
What if you consider yourself the second or third best team in the world?
Huh?
What if you were the third best team in the world?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
If I consider myself a big team, and I'm talking about myself with levels, if I concede 3 at home, I'll be fuming, no matter who is against. I'm sorry. And being called that good defensive, I'll call my manager, you kind of fucked up tactically. I'm going to let Alex speak. After this, MCFC Solo Stones back, makes a massive difference. Foden at the 10, Kova and Nunez moved to the 8. And what about Kevin De Bruyne? I think he makes a big difference. Alex, floor is yours, Alex.
Okay. The way you describe 2 halves, I agree there's 2 different halves, but I don't agree on your estimation of the way the 2 halves went. I think more like the City was not put the clinical shoes on it. And the second half, I don't even remember the clear chances that Spurs actually did beside the scoring goals. That they didn't. So for me, if they pressed and they pressed, it's just it just didn't finish. It would have been a bad game if Haaland would have scored all of it would have been like people saying it would have been 5 whatever. So to say that they did or not did, it's completely different picture. If you were 3-0 up, you get tired quicker, you're not playing as well because it's discouraging. The fact that they kept him at that score, it's actually helped him in the second half. That's all it was. And the second half, I think City was too confident that they got a game in control, and I think that confidence just paid them, smacked them back in the head, and that's why they drew the game. I don't think nothing serious about the game whatsoever, because the way the game was supposed to be, it was just not finishing from the forward City. What's his name? One thing that people misunderstand about City this time, it's actually madness. Like, you first time watch City, the City and Rodri. The reason why people saying that we need the press against City is why, because Rodri does not have escape plan. Rodri if he doesn't have a player beside him that he can pass that ball quick enough. Like, what's his name? Like De Bruyne. De Bruyne is, there's the players that always ask for the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your player, there's always the player that asks for the ball. I'm here, pass it to me. We're always open. Bernardo Silva is. But they are not close enough to Rodri sometimes. And that's when the press works against Rodri. Rodri gets himself in a panic. And he plays back, and the press keeps going. That's my problem with Rodri. I'll finish, and you can go. When that thing is actually happening, that's when Man City start to make the mistakes. Another thing is Gundogan. Not Gundogan. What's his name? Croatian.
Kovacic?
He's the one that actually gets the pressed against when Rodri passes back.
Oh, sorry. Gavardiol.
Guardiola. So when the Rodri plays back, you can see it. You can see how the press goes to the right side, and that's where they press on him. That's how I think City is getting trouble. My biggest problem is Guardiola is nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong. It's just he's by himself when he gets pressed. He cannot get out of press when the players are not available to him to pass it. How many times? You just need to see it. There's no player for him to ask. This is why Gundogan is the best. He's not afraid to go and control the ball. Bernardo Silva. But sometimes Bernardo Silva is high up. And when you you lose a possession up top, Bernardo Silva is not there to help Gundogan escape. So he has to play back. That's what I'm saying. So when Stones is beside him, he always going to be that escape route.
Yeah.
And then it was De Bruyne.
So
that's all I was going to say.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear all that. And with regards to this game in particular, and even pointing out how we've been pressed on, I think Gavardiol, he's getting into a good mix, but obviously he's new to the team, right? And from what I remember him to be as a player, he's a left center back, played to be left back. So there's some adjustment there. But I trust in him being a solid defender for us. But the press that you're talking about, now that because we don't have KDB, we have Alvarez kind of playing in that spot. I agree 100%. There's certain triggers when we're being pressed and how players make themselves available for the ball. He's one of them that I need to get a little more of to alleviate. But there is something that we do as a team. We do invite this press a little bit. We do invite this press where, okay, surrender some of that field, come towards us because we're going to play it back to Ederson. And we're confident that Ederson's going to put that pass gently to Doku or to Foden to really bypass that press. This game frustrated the heck out of me because had Foden just put that one that got squared to him, put that on net, I think we're running. With that game. And then Ange is kind of like, you know what? Sit back sooner. Or even from a standpoint, maybe the game plan changes because we're up early. I'm going to sound like a broken record. This game was against another team that believed in their philosophy, could care less which players were available, and attacked us. If more teams do that, I think they do get some joy. And if we also are healthy, I'm less worried about the upcoming games because we drop points, but we're moving forward. I'm going into this next game against Aston Villa that many would argue are in very good form without Doku because he came off that pitch with an injury, without Grealish because he took another yellow card suspension, Rodri another yellow card suspension. So we already know that Stones is supposed to be back, but we'll see. But I'm getting Kovacic and Nunez that are supposed to be coming back. The confidence going into Aston Villa is why, for me as a City fan, I'm like, dropping way too many points. And I see Liverpool, who invested in this summer, who do look better. I see Arsenal.
Do you actually better on the points than you were last year at this point?
I'm better on points. I may be better on points, but look who's also ahead of me. I now have 2 clubs.
Yeah, and Arsenal was 5 points ahead of you at this point.
That's
last
not
season.
true. That's not true. Man City
points.
last year had 35 points, had 30 plus goal differential. This year they are only in 30 points after this 14 games. So Man City, this is the slowest start in the last 5 years. This is the worst.
I think
Man
this is
City
the most
Again,
competitive prem
what?
that we've had.
Okay,
in the last-
I'm looking at it in game week 14 in season
14.
2023. Okay, they had 35 points last year, Manchester City.
Yeah, and how many? What's his name? Arsenal had?
No. Arsenal were below them by 1 point.
No, we're not. We're ahead of them.
I'm
What are you
looking at it.
talking?
I'm looking at Alex. I'm looking at it. It's right
Arsenal
in
was
front.
below.
last season.
No, I'm
in the
looking at it
points?
right now that Arsenal had 31 points and
No.
Man City had
Game week
29.
14 now. Arsenal had 11
Oh,
wins,
by game week
1
14,
draw,
yeah.
2 losses. Man City had 11 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. So Man City were ahead by 1 point.
Because there was games. that
I
were
am
delayed.
looking at it right now. So
Oh,
that is a fact.
I looked
This
at it
has been-
yesterday.
No. I'm
And the-
looking at it now, Alex. 14 games in, Man City had 35 points in season 22-23. This season, Man City have now at the moment, Man City are on 30 points only, with 10 goals less in terms of differential of last year. And I'm looking at the season before that, they were up 2 points ahead. And I'm looking at the season before that. This is the worst start in the last 3 years for Manchester City.
And this
Yeah,
is
I
why
thought
it's worrying.
Arsenal was going number 1 for the
No.
90
You
That
gotta
week,
go all the way to game
that
week
week, no.
16 to see the
To
points.
see Arsenal top.
Yeah.
You have to go to all the way to game week 16 to see Manchester City and Arsenal having played 14 games. Because you remember last season there was like delays or like cancellations or
So
something.
I'm looking after 14 games. So the
Yeah.
table is Man City, yes. So,
Yeah, so at that point,
so
Man
this
City
is the
had
Alex
32
in the first
points.
14 games. This is the worst start to lose 5 points in 5 games. I am checking the seasons before. This is one of the worst starts for Manchester City. People keep the problem is it's not only the start of the season, and this is I'm gonna get Vader in, and that's the question. Pep Guardiola, until this moment, hasn't even found a formula to get in the midfield. Rodri is isolated. You guys said that. Is it Foden on the right? Is it Bernardo should be?
Foden. I think
should
Foden is.
be 10. Is it Doku? Yes, Doku. But what if he goes missing? Jack Grealish?
Look.
Because Jack Grealish came on, people just forget. Jack Grealish scored the
Yeah,
goal.
Jack
right?
Grealish is better than Doku.
No, I disagree. Do you know that
I
Jack
don't care.
Grealish lost the ball 4 times in a row? And you guys tell me it's an agenda. You can check it. Before he scored, Jack Grealish had 2 passes. One of them started a counter attack for them, and he had to recover, right? That was a missed pass. Doku doesn't do that. Nobody at Man City just passed the ball to the opposition. Jack Grealish sometimes does that. He came on, he lost position 4 times in a row. Yes, he scored. He was in the right place at the right time. Haaland had a brilliant ball. Jack Grealish didn't help himself. If that goal wasn't scored, Jack Grealish didn't help himself.
Mhm.
Jack Grealish was going into fights with Pedro Porro.
I think because he's not game fit yet. He's fit, but he's not match fit.
Mhm.
That's what
Yes,
Grealish.
maybe. Yeah,
That's
you're
what
right.
missed pass is going on. But
Yeah.
my point is about the whole Foden situation. Again, you're looking for the escape routes when a midfielder possesses the ball. Like if Guardiola has the ball and he gets pressed, you have players like what's his name, Foden, to get the ball, or what's that Argentinian kid,
Alvarez.
Alvarez. They're the ones that help him get out of that passing, try to help, versus Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. Do you see the difference for how easy for for Gundogan for what's his name to play?
Gabriel, yeah.
That's the difference, because Foden and they're not available for him, and they're not as strong the way they like in the league.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So this trying to find the right formula. Yeah, Pep's tinkering, and Pep's always tinkering because he knows we're getting the best effort from every club, and that's going to be the case for the remainder of the year. When we show up or when teams come to us, they're playing against European champions and English champions. We're going to get their best effort. So Pep needs to get into these players, because I was worried about this, Mo, and everyone on the panel. I was worried that we would have a start similar to this. I was worried that we'd have players that played to the latter stages of last season start a little slow or be a little injury prone or not quite be up for the races. This is going to be the most challenging, demanding season of Pep's career because he's trying to get players motivated to win a fourth.
After the treble.
Like,
How do you get motivated players that won the treble? It's hard to motivate them.
It's the
Like
Dwight
they
York
won it
effect.
all.
That's what they call it, the Dwight York effect. When
It's
you've
really
won a
hard.
treble
I understand.
and you can't get
I
yourself
don't
up
think
to it.
Arsenal is
Why?
the
So
threat.
the question is, and I
is
want to. So
Liverpool.
why do people keep telling me? And I asked Hussam this, and his answer was, "Would you take this? Would you take that?" Why do people keep telling me that this Man City team is still the best in the league?
Thank you.
Well, I mean,
Why?
because like if you look at the 2021
Yes.
season,
So
look at
are
the
we
20
going? Okay,
It's
are we going
easy.
in
It's easy to
history?
say.
So the question is, so can someone answer me this? Well, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't.
So if you look at the 2021 season, right, and that season, Liverpool was like six or 8 points clear, I think, of Manchester City at this time of the season. After 14 games, City were sitting on 26 points. They were actually below Tottenham in like 6th or something
Yeah.
like that.
That's
And
the
they came back and
the
won the league by
2021,
12
and they won the
points.
league. Yes.
By 12 points, not by a little bit, by 12 points, right? So, I mean, when you're able to make that swing, be 6 points back, and then win it by 12, you know, and in the full season, coming out of 6th place,
What up?
you know, they
It's
were
a
in our
historic
position.
reputation
You know-
on why we're on why
So,
we're
so,
so
so
like
exactly.
that.
So we are okay. So I agree with you.
Their
Well,
squad ain't as good.
if you're
the
gonna
squad
if
ain't
we're
as
gonna if we're gonna put it to the reason that they have the best coach in the world that can turn it around and can find the solution, well, I will give you that. I'm actually not debating that at all. But the difference is in the last 25 games of last season, John Stones played, I think, 23 games. Gundogan played 25 games. Riyad Mahrez came off the bench in some games and provided some solution. People forget that even when he sat on the bench, Riyad Mahrez gives you something completely different. He gives you that brilliant individual abilities. Yes, he didn't start, but he wins you games sometimes. He makes things happen sometimes. Now I'm looking at this City this year. Kevin De Bruyne is not back yet. Gavardiol is young. Last year, by the way, Ake came clutch at the end of the season, Kyle Walker stepped in some games, Real Madrid game and some games in the league. This Man City, Gundogan by himself, as Alex, and I echo Alex in this, Gundogan by himself is not only ability, people. It's being able to pick up your teammate when you're down.
was our
It's being
captain.
able to play two positions. It's being able to tell the teammate in the dressing room, listen, we're better than this. I'm looking at the City team now, and I'm like, who's picking up who? Ederson made the mistake in the first goal. Nobody went, which is supposed to be Diaz at this point. Nobody went to Ederson and told him, listen, it's all right, you made a mistake. It is fine. People looked to other teammates like, did we make a mistake? They looked at the coach. While last year, Gundogan would pick everybody up. That's what City are missing now. Doku is young. Foden is young. Gavardiol is young. I'm just giving you the young players.
Grealish is drunk.
For some, I'm not counting Grealish for a couple of reasons, because I think actually with Foden, Jack Grealish, like last year, Bernardo with Gundogan, I think it was through the middle with Kevin De Bruyne. Now, the creativity now, even Julian Alvarez comes from the sides towards the middle. Now it's the creativity from the sides. Doku, Alvarez, and Foden. Alvarez is young. Who's looking up to who? Who's in the pitch?
Yeah.
I'll
He's
give you
picking up
example.
anybody.
So
Spot,
so
about the summer.
go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I will give you example, and it's a perfect transition into the Chelsea. We have the same issue. We have all the experience in the back line, and Thiago Silva is one of them. That experience, but for some reason, he's the guy that don't speak.
Yeah,
and
he's
does
silent.
not.
Thiago Silva is not a leader.
Yes,
And
and
with Marquinhos at PSG.
yeah, and that's what I'm like. I like Thiago Silva. Don't get me wrong, but when we're making the mistakes, and that's what you see in the City, because De Bruyne is the big personnel in the dressing room and after dressing room. So does Bernardo Silva. But I keep telling, and like I'm gonna say it and say it and say it. If you limit your offense, go create the chances through the middle, which De Bruyne does it. You only available to do it from the wings, and I'm sorry, but as a defender in me, I always say it's easier to defend when you defending somebody from the side.
Yeah.
De Bruyne could find the passes to what's his name, to
Haaland.
Blount Viking through the middle. Nobody else does that. Tell me when the last time he got the pass through the middle.
No, you're saying exactly the things I've been saying. The problem
Where
is
those passes coming from?
our
Nobody.
captain's Kyle Walker. But when we look at what needs to happen in terms of pick everyone up or galvanize the team, I think there's an element of that is missing because of the experience that's left. And again, you guys emphasize Gundogan leaving is huge. He was our captain last season. He was that player to talk to the referee. He was that player to pull everyone together and make sure everyone's on the same page. Walker's doing that this year. But to have Gundogan, and I know, Alex, you said Mahrez leaving wasn't that important, but he's also a player that doesn't get rattled. He's also a player that no matter how many minutes he plays, he's on that pitch, you know he's delivering. We're not what we were to end the season. And I said we're not in super blonde hair, Super Saiyan mode right now. And we weren't last season at this time. Am I confident that we'll get there when we're healthy again? Yes. But what is frustrating me right now is I see Liverpool and Arsenal stronger, and we're dropping points that I don't think is necessary.
I don't think we're stronger. I think City got weaker enough to them, be close to them enough. I don't see them get stronger. I see them actually get. I see City get what you describing is true. Yeah. Only they didn't get stronger. City got to the level that Arsenal and Liverpool is. Liverpool probably
I think
biggest
Arsenal
problem.
Got weaker. I agree with Alex.
Yeah, I think Arsenal got weaker.
Well.
Yes, City got weaker, but they got weaker towards Arsenal.
Yeah,
they didn't you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of normalize it. But Liverpool is the big threat. I always say the managers is the biggest difference when you're going for the title. And I'm sorry, but I'll take Klopp over Fratetta any day. And Klopp is the manager. I don't care, man. I don't care about Arteta. He's not my cousin. Yeah. What I'm saying is Klopp has mentality to beat into his players the system. Arteta is not. So for me, that's the difference. Biggest City problem this season. It's only one. It's two teams that they hunt. They have to defend against two.
Well, I'm gonna say one thing, and people are not gonna believe me. Right? I called out this manager. I said, Ange Postecoglou is this, Ange Postecoglou is that. Yes, but again, after 4 games of picking only 1 point, it's still 3 points.
It's still the problem.
3 points by Manchester City.
Exactly.
3 points. And who tells me that if Daniel Levy backs this guy, I'm not saying they're gonna win the league, but they're gonna be a problem. Liverpool are gonna struggle against them again. Arsenal, Man City are gonna go to Tottenham Stadium.
Chelsea never have a problem with Tottenham.
Who's gonna say? Did you win against them this year?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was again the 4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. My point is,
the 9 guys.
As bad as we are, we always win.
It's gonna give people problems. Ange Postecoglou is gonna give people problems.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, don't get me wrong. I respect him as a manager. The problem is, you ask about why do you keep saying that City is so good? Well, you can only say it based on what you know, right? So what we know, it's what they did last season before that, season before that. That's why we know. That's why we have to compare to. Same with Tottenham. It's based on what we know. And what we know, Levy will not support his manager. That's what we know.
No, he did. Will tell you otherwise. That's absolutely wrong.
Okay, if you say so. But
he may have done that in the past. Who knows?
So in the past, we buy players. In fact, we've only spent £50 million less than Arsenal in net spend over the past.
Yeah, remember when you sold what's his name, 400 mil? What's his name? Gareth Bale. What did you spend on it?
We bought 7 players and we got Eriksen out of it. That was it. So we spent 100 million on Eriksen. Is basically what happened. Christian Eriksen.
I just think Levy is.
That's what I'm saying. He's like the bargain bin guy, right? So
yeah,
you know how you have 2 types of shoppers. You got the guy I got a perfume channel, right? So you've got cologne fragrances, and then you've got niche fragrances. The niche fragrance costs like $400 or $500 for 1 bottle of perfume, right?
Okay.
Or you got the guy who's going to save up and buy that 1 bottle of perfume, or he's going to go out and buy 40 knockoffs and spend the exact same amount of money. We're the 40.
I just bought a Hugo Boss. Is that the cheap end or a high end?
The middle range. So you're good.
Okay.
Vator has to go, guys. There's 450 people here. Come on, hit that like button for us. Get us to 200 likes. Vator, any last words about? You're not worried.
I am no, Mo. I may sound calm. I may not be cursing and acting up, but no, I am worried, and I'm worried for many reasons. Listen, this was not a Spurs team that had their key guys. They came to my house and got a draw. Like that's
Yeah.
I'm not calm about
Missing
that.
4 starters. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
You
calm
should be
about that
worried.
at all. And then the game before that, I had Liverpool, who I should have slapped out of my house, get a draw as well. Like this isn't
And
a.
Chelsea. Don't forget Chelsea.
Oh my gosh,
Is
I was
this
getting there.
coincidence,
Relax.
Mo, or is it
Yes,
on purpose?
relax.
You get bandit, you should put him in the middle.
Well,
Look,
I'll
if
get
City
there, I'll
get
get there.
Championship League group with, or yeah, if City gets Inter Milan, if they get banned by Inter, and you can do this circle.
You've
And
thrown him
I'm
into the
telling you,
snake pit.
Vader, we're better than all of these guys.
Hey, I don't watch you enough to know you in detail, but I know you're a
We
quality
got
team.
stronger than last year. Anyway, long story short,
Okay.
I actually
am
think
worried,
that
Mo.
Man City shouldn't be worried because you have Pep Guardiola. However, if it comes January and you're not, because Matthias Nunes, Kovacic, you have a very young team, they will be good, but I'm not sure if Pep can get it right this year like last year.
No,
Because
you'll be fine. Stay 8
Arsenal
points,
and
you'll be all
Liverpool
right.
are strong. And Arsenal, especially, they are not playing well, but they have been playing better game by game. Liverpool are gonna figure it out. Liverpool have a hole, the DM. I'm telling you, they're gonna go buy somebody in January, even though if it's not a high-profile guy, but they're gonna buy someone, right?
I'm gonna
And
say
that's
this,
gonna
Mo.
be a problem.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm looking forward to Liverpool putting Trent at midfield. Do that. I want to see it. All your fans want that. Do it. Make that happen. I want to see that. I also want to point out that if we weren't leaking goals, I'd be cool. If it was like, oh, we're losing 1-0, 2-1, I'd be cool. But we're giving
Oh,
up
yeah,
4
exactly.
to Chelsea, who were toothless at the time.
Don't
And
mention
we're-
us. We
Hey.
put 3 past you all the time.
Okay. The last time at my house was a 4-2 win. But this is what's driving me crazy. If we weren't leaking goals, I'd be calm. But yeah, we got to fix up. I want to say, if you guys are watching this show, you're not hitting the like button. Come on, Mo gives great content.
Yeah.
He brings on a fantastic panel, myself included. And hey, show the support to this guy. I'm gonna catch you next time, Mo. Fellas, thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
There
man.
you go, Vader.
Appreciate it, buddy.
But we do have to mention though that
I want to speak about Spurs before we go on to Liverpool and Chelsea, please.
yeah,
this
so
is-
I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about Tottenham. I mean, we still got a bunch of injuries. Hopefully people come back as soon as possible. I mean, Romero will be back, so that's good. I guarantee you're going
What
to see
happened
us.
to challenging his red card?
I don't know. They never
You told
did.
me that we're gonna challenge.
Although you have to listen to Postecoglou's talk. He's almost making it sound like they made a mistake on that one, by the way. If you listen to him and you read between the lines of what
Okay.
he's saying.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I can
Listen
read
to-
between the lines though.
Yeah. But well, because he can't say it publicly, right? Or he'll get suspended like Arteta, right? So, but I just look. We got players come back, but there's just a few misconceptions that I want to say. For one, right? There's a fine line between insanity and genius. And I think Postecoglou toes that line every single day. Sometimes he crosses over to one side, sometimes he crosses onto the other. And it's just going to be interesting to watch him build a squad at the club. Number two, put some respect on Pedro Porro's name, because I heard Tottenham fans and rivals all say that this guy was dog trash defender, and he's going to be picking out dreadlocks and tiny shin pads out of his pockets for the next week. That's all I got to say.
I actually think you should put some credit to that kid of a goalkeeper that you have.
Vicario's
That
well,
is
man.
a jam goalkeeper
I was
coming
going
up.
to say too, I think he's a Jedi. The amount
I
of
think
the amount of shots that have come at that target and then missed or hit the post, I literally think he's a Jedi and he moves
I
in with his
think
mind.
that kid
because-
is something special. That kid
Doesn't
is
have to
something
touch it and
special.
he's saving him.
Raz is saying Inter will win the Scudetto this year. It looks like it, to be honest. Thank you, Raz, for the super chat. It looks like we're gonna win it. I'd say we're one of the best teams in Europe at the moment, without a question.
But if we've come out the backside of this patch, right, that we were in,
Close to the top, it's scary. Not meaning
Yeah.
we're gonna
and we're
win it,
only
but it
6
is
points
scary.
back. And we're only
Yeah.
6 points back. If this is us coming out of that patch, because we got Romero coming back against West Ham, and the way West Ham have been playing with this team now, the way we played against Villa and the way we played against City today in that second half, even a full strength West Ham, I don't think has the teeth to
I
handle us
think
at our house.
you actually you stylistically play against each other, and who's gonna take the chances at the end. because you
Yeah,
playing
that's what I
high
say.
press.
We play
Against
better
who?
against
West Ham.
teams that come out against us, though. The
Yeah,
teams that
that's
sit
what I'm
back-
saying.
Yeah.
West
So-
Ham is not gonna come out.
Well,
Forget about it.
they did that last game, but yeah, against Spurs they won't. I guess against Spurs they will.
Yeah, but that's
They will stay
but
back
right
and
now
they
with
will
the
counter.
defensive. We will. I think that the last two results have helped two things. One, even though we lost to Aston Villa, we pounded them for 90 minutes, right? And other teams saw that as well. And even Pep mentioned it in his press conference, right? Like he said in his pre-press, yeah. Basically, Tottenham to be that have that many guys gone and to play a team like Aston Villa and still come out and play the way that they played, like he respected Postecoglou for that. So I think that the more teams sit back against us, the less of an impact Van der Ben being out makes. You see what I'm
I
saying?
agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So the fact that we were able to play that way against Villa, play this way against City, is now going to garner respect from some of the middle table teams that we have to go in and play in this run, Newcastle included, I think. And it's going to take less pressure off the back line, which is going to put a little bit more pressure on the front line to score, which is a problem as well. But I would rather have that problem than conceding like we have been, because Wolves didn't respect us at all. They just came at us tooth and nail, right? So
I think the Aston Villa, it's the game was, I think Villa just didn't show up the way that, like, either that or Tottenham just, the first thing they did, punched in the face, and Villa just still dizzy throughout 90 games. But like, it doesn't mean that those kind of games are gonna happen in all the time.
Guys,
just
hit that
gotta
like
watch and
button
see.
for us. I
Gotta
want
watch and
to move
see.
on to Liverpool. So and the question is,
when are you going to beat Arsenal? That's the question.
you.
No,
Who?
Liverpool. They got to play them in like 2 weeks.
You know, I want to look at that this Liverpool team
Yeah.
today, and Alex. I know you want to
Fulham.
talk about Chelsea, but
I don't care.
I want to go to Jamie here and talk about Liverpool today. I am seeing, this is me again. I'm gonna have the same energy I have for City, for Liverpool, for Arsenal, for Chelsea, for everybody. For Chelsea is a little bit different because they're looking for results. If I'm playing at home against Fulham, and I keep saying it's a great comeback, and I'm not looking at how did I concede 3 at home when I should be cruising, because Liverpool were cruising in this game. You should have been out of sight. Darwin Nunez missing chances. Mohamed Salah wasn't on it. And I keep telling the people, Darwin Nunez isn't the guy. In some games he is, in some games he isn't. Gravenberch was good, but he was finding passes. Szoboszlai was kind of a little bit a weak link. Every time he got the ball, he kind of didn't do well. McAllister was all right, put in tackles, played good passes.
Didn't Liverpool play in the Europa League on Thursday, Mo?
If you're gonna put it that, but I think they rested most of them. Most of them were rested.
We changed 8 players from that.
They
first
changed
game.
8
Yeah.
players, but they didn't play.
But is Liverpool known for have a great bench?
No. But on Thursday they
Yeah,
did not
still
play the
struggle.
first team. So that first team had a week off. Most of them had a week off.
They
Most
still
of them.
travel. That's what I'm saying. They still travel.
But you're talking about excuses, because I was looking.
Not really. It's
Well,
it's a hard from Europa.
Newcastle played
No, it's an
against Paris
excuse.
Saint Germain.
Like, we live in
Newcastle played
America.
against Paris Saint Germain, and they still put in without a change, same 11 against Manchester United, and they ran their asses off. So
Something
I am not. I'm not having
5-hour
this.
plane flight.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Anyway, I'm gonna let Jamie talk. I get that Trent was magnificent, but again, let me just put something. It's a free kick and a wonder goal that started the 2-0 for Liverpool, and then you conceded 3 in a row. Is that worrying, or that's a good sign?
I've been talking about the worry of Liverpool conceding chances all season. I've been talking about it for seasons now, to be fair. Liverpool have always conceded chances under Jurgen Klopp. It's just the way we play. It's that risk for reward factor. But you've got to have a strong defensive midfield to play that way. And my issue is at the moment is that I actually think McAllister the last couple of games is starting to understand the role Jurgen Klopp wants him to play. Now, Jurgen Klopp's come out and said it himself. He likes McAllister in that position for certain reasons. He's not after an aggressive central defensive midfielder. Otherwise, would have gone and got one, really. He wants that ball-playing midfielder in that number 6. And McAllister the last couple of games is starting to understand the role he's wanting him to play. My issue is the other 2 midfielders that play with him at the moment. Now, I like Szoboszlai. I think Szoboszlai on the ball is a tremendous talent. Defensively, you've got some issues with Szoboszlai off the ball. Off the ball defensively, it's not. Now, I get cooked for this all the time. I don't compare him to Jordan Henderson because that's stupid, right? But what Jordan Henderson was better at was defending than Szoboszlai off the ball. You know, if you look at all the time, you know, Klopp and Liverpool, Trent at right back, everyone says he can't defend, gets cooked. Our defence was never really that bad. Go and look at the goals we conceded in Champions League winning years, Premier League winning years, the games, the seasons against City. It's because Hendo could defend off the ball. He knew where his positioning was off the ball. With Szoboszlai, obviously a far better footballer on the ball. At the moment, he's defending off the ball. He's playing a role that is brand new to him as a player. He's a box-to-box midfielder for Liverpool. You know, that's the way he's going to play. And when you play someone like him and Gravenberch at the same time, with McAllister sitting, you've got an imbalance in your midfield where two players want to do the same thing, and McAllister's got to sit. And then you've got that little imbalance there. And you've got Trent inverting. So you got that imbalance in our midfield on a defensive point, on an attacking point and a possession point of view, and it's correct. But on a defensive point of view, that's where it just needs to, you know, we need to tweak it. It's a brand new midfield, so I think once these players learn the role they want to play under Jurgen, this midfield will only get better with a couple more additions here and there in certain areas. I know everyone keeps talking about Trent in midfield. I prefer Trent as an inverted midfield right back. I think it works. We've only lost once. It's Trent inverting in 28 games now or something like that. The reason it works is because Trent ghosts into midfield positions when we're not on the ball. That's why it works, and he gets into lovely positions into midfield when we've not got the ball. And putting him in midfield, I think Trent is a midfielder now, looking at him. Trent has actually got quite a big physique. He's actually quite tall. He's quite broad. He's actually a lot bigger now.
He's getting bigger now.
When you look at him as a player, he looks like a midfielder. He plays like a midfielder. I think Klopp likes him in this inverted role right now, and I don't think he's going to take him out of it. But his ability on the ball, I mean, it's second to none. You know, Trent is tremendous on the ball. There is no doubt about that. He's starting to become Liverpool's new Steven Gerrard for me. He's starting to go, look, I'm the boss here. I'm the captain. I know Virgil's got the armband, but I'm the captain. This is my club. You know, start giving me the ball. Start giving me the responsibility. And you've seen that the last couple of games, in my opinion. And, and with Darwin, look, I'm pissed with Darwin at the moment. I ain't going to lie. You know, Mo would know I'm a bit of a defender of Darwin. But
you are.
Recently, I can fault Darwin for a lot of things, yeah. What I can't fault with him is he doesn't hide. He doesn't hide. I know a lot of strikers that will miss a lot of opportunities and then they hide. I will give Darwin one thing: he doesn't. He continues. He goes and goes and goes and goes. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. I think personally, at this moment in time, Darwin should be used as a player coming on with half hour ago against tired legs. That's where I think he might be at his best at the moment. Personally, I feel, and this is just me, other Liverpool fans not feel this, I feel Cody Gakpo should be the false nine for Liverpool. Because at this moment in time, the reason I say that, Mo Salah is playing too wide at the moment. And Mo will know this. You want Mo Salah in front of goal. And to get the best out of Mo Salah in front of goal, if you play a false nine there who drops back, he gives up that area that Mo can go into. And Mo's at his best in them areas. With Darwin wants that area and won't come out of that area. So Mo has to stick wider in the pitch. I just feel like the way we play, it suits having a false nine in that position and a Diaz and a Salah then invert a little bit more and come inside a little bit more with a Gakpo dropping a little bit deeper, i.e. like Bobby used to. And I think you get the best out of them. Then you've got a weapon in Darwin to come off the bench for half hour against tired legs. I think that works well. But Liverpool got to start controlling games better. That's the main issue for us right now. I never sit there in a Liverpool game and think it's going to be comfortable. I'm always on the edge of my seat. because it's
Yeah.
it's a man.
Can I say something about
let me just read.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Hendo covered for Trent, which is what Jamie was saying. We don't have a midfielder who slides effectively. This will be the problem. Playing this style will leak goals till we get it sorted. This is what I'm saying. You need to get a left. Jurgen Klopp need to get out of this shell and get a left center back and do what City does. Do not play Tsimikas. He likes Tsimikas to fly up, and that leaves space. Get a left center back. I don't know who you get from the world. You get someone like Levi Colwill, and I think that's why Liverpool wanted Levi Colwill to play three
Oh,
in
we
the
got a
back.
better defender now.
Huh? You got what?
We got
You
our own
Konsa.
Colwill now. We got Kwanzaa, who's a tremendous
No, but you
talent.
need a left-footed centre back like Gavardiol, like Nathan Ake, like Van de Ven, like Bastoni, like Colwell. Someone that can actually do a little bit of an offensive job and can be a left centre back, so Trent can invert freely. That's why Pep Guardiola never plays a right-footed centre back on the left side, because that left-sided centre back need to be able to drive with the ball with the left foot. Someone like I mentioned the names. Until you fix that, or you have an elite defensive midfielder that can cover both sides. That's the problem. Szoboszlai isn't defending. Gavardiol isn't Gravenberch isn't a defender. And McAllister isn't a natural DM. So you literally have three midfielders that are more offensive than defensive. Go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, my problem is, though, with McAllister, this is my issue with McAllister at Liverpool. If he doesn't play the 6, where does McAllister play?
He's an 8.
Because the way
he's an 8.
The way the Liverpool play, Mo, is this: Liverpool play box to box with their midfielders, and then
not with Thiago, not with Alcantara. You didn't play that with Alcantara, so he can do the Alcantara job.
Thiago Alcantara always arrived last into the box.
Exactly, Alex. Thiago Alcantara was more of a controller. Alcantara was more of a tempo dictator. McAllister do that for Argentina. McAllister did that for Brighton. McAllister was never the highest guy in the midfield, and he was never the deepest guy in the midfield.
Yes,
he was the guy that dictates the tempo. Liverpool can use McAllister like that. Thiago Alcantara is the same. Thiago Alcantara
didn't play like that for Liverpool. Do you know how much Thiago ran? No. Do you know how much Thiago ran for Liverpool?
About amount of running, Jamie, is different than the way
no, but he ran. Thiago ran box to box more for Liverpool than he did anywhere else in his career.
But you can do that. You can get McAllister to
but
run
that doesn't mean that McAllister wouldn't.
Yeah, McAllister can do that.
McAllister will be a free.
Physically, McAllister is stronger, right? Am I wrong here?
I honestly don't think McAllister can play the role Klopp would want him to play in a midfield 8. I don't think he would. I think he'd struggle. Why based on what? Why would he struggle? Well, I want Liverpool to play. Mo, what I want Liverpool to do is play a double pivot, get an experienced DM, and play McAllister next to him. Then McAllister can play off him and advance a little bit.
But that's how he plays. But that's how he played at every club, even for the country. Like it wasn't not designated.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
what I'm talking about. He don't play.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, McAllister should not be the last person, and he should not be the box to box. That what?
Let's be honest, actually, with you, I think if you get a DM, I think McAllister. To be honest with you, I actually think McAllister holds bench. I think Gravenberch and Szoboszlai are better than him. That's the reality.
Look. Here's the. I just want a clarification. When you're talking about Trent in midfield, what exactly are you talking about? Where 8, 6? What position in midfield?
Inverted next to a DM, so he controls the ball from the defense. Distribute.
Okay, like Stones, right? Like Stones.
No, Stones doesn't distribute. Trent can distribute. That's why I say they don't need McAllister. So hear me out, Alex. I'm gonna respond.
I see what you're saying now.
They don't need McAllister. If they get a Paulinho, they play 3 in the back. Trent inverts. Trent is the one that gets the ball and distribute. Gravenberch and Szoboszlai can fly back and forth.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's it.
Then
that's how I think they should play.
I thought, like, if you're talking about inverted, it's one thing, but I don't think you don't need I don't think Klopp likes that overcomplicating. I don't think he does that.
Arsenal
I think he likes
that.
play double pivot.
Arsenal.
Who?
Does that. Arsenal.
Good for them. It works wonderful.
City do this.
No, City does it. How did they work when the player went down? Like, if Stones doesn't play, does that look good?
Yeah, but Trent is very good on the ball. So what's
How-
your point then?
Anyway, my point is for Trent to go there, you need to have a really good center defensive midfielder. Like
Yes,
I mean, really good.
yes.
Otherwise, you have
Like
two players
Caicedo,
that
Paulinho,
cannot.
Declan Rice,
They
Aparte,
want
Rodri. Yes.
exactly. So if you want Trent to
Yeah,
be
I
that,
agree.
I think what's his name, and Trent always need to be there. They both. You don't have to invert. I really don't. I think he actually that good if he can be beside the really capable defensive midfielder. Trent is good at it. He just needs assurances because assurances is most important in defensive midfield. And if those work, I don't think they need anybody else. But the defensive middle, it's must. But they don't even
I'd
play
play Endo.
that.
Play Endo.
Huh?
I'd play Endo. If I'm Jurgen Klopp right now, I'd start getting Endo in this team because
No, because he
what
scored.
when Wataru Endo came on today, when he came on, Liverpool actually started to get more control in the midfield area against Fulham. They started conceding less chances and got more control because Trent and Endo went into that double pivot, and Gakpo played the 10, went in front. And we started getting what I like about Endo. This is what I like about Wataru Endo. He's actually a pretty decent footballer on the ball. He's like one touch, two touch. Now people I like that about him, and I think Klopp's got to start trusting him a little bit and maybe start getting him into the team. You know, he passes the ball forward a heck of a lot. One touch, two touch, always passing the ball forward. Took his goal really well today. Scored a beautiful header in Europe as well a few weeks back. He's a decent player. I think because he's a DM, he just knows that position better than McAllister. It sort of makes
Yeah, I
makes
think
sense to
McAllister
me.
and DM is the
Try
bad
him there.
decision.
To try him there, you know, you bought him for a reason. You might as well give him a go now and put him in there.
You know
We've got
what I
Sheffield
wonder?
United. Play him in that game.
Let me ask you: you don't have a center back that's capable of playing even a little bit, that can move into the defensive middle and just stay there and don't move? You don't even have that.
The only one was Matt.
I seriously, I don't know Liverpool's team, so like
No, they
usually
don't.
in those situations, you will have a youngster center back. That center backs are usually the ones that can slide more into the defensive midfield versus the midfielder slide into the center backs.
Is
we
Francis
don't
number
have
one
any
right back or right
Right.
center back injured or something or what?
Who?
But what
Francis
what's
number
the
one
mad
right
thing?
center back.
Konate
Yeah.
now is benched by Matip.
Oh. And
He's
yet
benched by
Saliba's benched by
34 years
Konate
old.
in France.
Well,
Is
Matip.
that a
Matip's
political
goddamn-
or it's actually because he's
No,
playing
no,
bad?
it's because he's playing bad. He's making
Matip's a
mistakes.
better
Okay.
defender. Matip's a better
He's
defender.
making mistakes.
You know, but Matip
Okay.
got injured. He looks like he'll be out for a long time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not-
I mean,
Matip is
Konate is
phenomenal.
France's number one right center back, so
Yeah, but I think Matip's a better defender than Konate. Konate makes too many bozo moments to my liking. But look, it's
Hold
the
that
weird thing
well.
about
I know it's a cheap shot. Hold that well. Coming from a Liverpool fan, hold that well.
What-
I'm just saying who
what-
starts for
You
France at
are
right
it's
center
a
back. That's
cheap
all I'm saying.
shot, and you lost.
I see what you did there.
Take the loss and move
I
on.
don't
look,
think even register what
shocks me
he's
is
That's
doing.
any shots at Saliba if you didn't
No,
get it.
what shocks me is that Liverpool are where they are in the league without this apparent DM and things like that. So, you know, we got good players there. Got obviously a world class manager. I think our squad's a lot better than people give it a bit of credit
Yeah.
for, to be fair. And yeah, it's just we played a lot of our hard games away from home. You know, and a lot of them have got to come to Anfield yet. I think. Be honest, my expectations of this season have changed since the beginning. My expectations
So
have
you're always
completely
thinking
changed.
to win the league now.
Yeah,
I
we're in
don't
top.
think Liverpool are capable of going on a runs
I've
like
always
I
said
more
actually
at the
think
end of the
so.
season.
I think so, along with Arsenal as well.
I
People
think
think-
Liverpool
not.
has a more
Liverpool
chances of
is.
going into the 10 games wins than any other team besides City.
Say that
Liverpool
again.
is
I
more
always
capable.
I said from the beginning of the
say that-
season,
go
Liverpool
ahead,
was the
what-
title
one of
challenger.
you.
I told you guys from the beginning of the season that Liverpool was the title challenger.
And I like
I believe after I watched him like the first 5 games, I believe that listen, my conclusion can change, but at the
Yeah.
moment, I think Liverpool played every big team away from home and
Yeah,
didn't
they-
lose other than playing Spurs, right? In that game when they were 9 men and they put heroic defending. That means they can do both aspects of the game. I actually think that Liverpool, everybody's coming to their ground. second half of the season.
The
Everyone.
biggest problem for me, I don't
even
know how
us.
Liverpool will address
City,
Europa.
Spurs,
Like a Cup of Nations.
Liverpool,
That will be the
Chelsea.
question.
Yeah, here's the thing about Cup of Nations. Actually,
Szoboszlai played
Liverpool also have
Szoboszlai
Mo
played
Salah.
right.
Mo Salah will miss a couple of games. The problem is these two games are against Chelsea and Arsenal.
I think Szoboszlai will play right wing for Liverpool while Mo's away.
Well, I
think
think
so.
Magrama
I
can play for
actually think
Chelsea, but that doesn't mean that she will improve them.
Premier League fans, though.
Salah, you
all
will be
fans,
missed. Come on.
we're all guilty of
Oh, yeah,
this.
man.
We're all guilty of this. Premier League fans overrate players. Now, what I mean overrate, like you guys say that Szoboszlai is still a young player that needs
I don't think
development.
he's good.
I think
I think
he's
he's
good.
okay.
I think he's good, but people
It's
tell me
overrated,
okay.
Saliba.
he already said that he's Gerard this, Gerard that, he's that. He's that. I promise you, a
Trent.
lot of people do that. A lot of people already doing that. Gavardiol this, Gavardiol that. Levi
Nunez.
Colul, Paolo Maldini. You know what I'm talking about, Alex. A
Little
21 years
Maldini.
old that
Yeah,
had
yeah,
one
yeah.
season or 2 seasons.
But that's a
And I'm like, and now I'm having Jamie here, who's an experienced Liverpool. Is like, yes, suppose I can play the right wing. Well, Mo Salah should not be replaced with one. He should be replaced collectively.
exactly.
It has to be
Gundogan. Gundogan. You see how Gundogan
collectively replaced. That's my point, Jamie. Like you cannot
Well,
say
the last time Salah went to the Asian to the African nation, sorry, Oxlade-Chamberlain played right wing and we won every game. I think we
it's
can.
good enough to win, but it against
I
Arsenal.
think Szoboszlai can. I think Szoboszlai can. I mean, it's the FA Cup game, ain't it? The Arsenal game is.
Is it?
So
I didn't know that. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I can't check
I think
what
it's the FA
games.
Cup game. So I think we can. I think we can get away with it. I really do. I think the squad's good enough to.
You have 5
make
attackers,
sure-
so you should be able to.
Yeah, we should be out. There should be no complaining. I don't want to hear. What I don't want to hear is Liverpool fans bitching and moaning because Mo's not going to be around for a couple of games. I don't like that. You got a squad for a reason. So if they're gone,
I actually
you
think it's
replace them
Europa
with
League
someone in the squad.
more than Africa. I think
No,
Europa
but
League
the
is
Europa
more.
League stops is done now, Alex, until March.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
them.
you're right.
I know that.
Done.
It's not until March, until February.
No, for them, they're not gonna play the round of 32 because they're gonna top the group. They're gonna play round of 16.
Yeah, we're in the
When
last
you're
6
top of
games.
the
Okay,
group,
okay.
you skip around.
Okay, good. I'm just
So,
saying,
yeah.
like, it's still because Liverpool is strong enough to go in that tournament far, so they will still have that Thursday games.
Yeah.
I wish
I
we
see
won
what
See
you're
what I'm
saying. I see what you're
Liverpool
saying.
should
Let
win
me do this. Oga Boga saying Konate and Trent Alexander-Arnold work together. Konate had the high twitch muscle to cover for Trent. Watch the tape.
But that's
I'm
why
not-
he gets injured. But that's why he gets injured all the time. So he has to cover
I don't
him.
think Konate is good, but he's prone to mistakes. He has bozo moments, to be honest.
Yeah.
More even than Romero. And Romero is rash. Konate isn't rash, but he makes mistakes. He jumps into tackles and stuff. But you need a
No,
mix
it can
of.
be well class one game and then look average the next. It's so
Yeah.
irritating.
So
That's why.
the last is it. Anybody else want to add something about Liverpool before I move on to Chelsea and then I talk about the game for a bit with Alex and see what he thought?
It's from game week. I think it's game week 3. I said Liverpool was the title challenger. I said, and you guys just got to beat Arsenal, you know. And what?
It's just gonna be Arsenal in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But they're playing at home this time, right? They're gonna play Man United and Arsenal at home, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're both back to back at home. Yeah.
I'll only
Yeah.
start talking about the teams being challenging for the league in March when the knockout stages of the Championship League starts and the transfer.
I
window
get what
opens.
you're saying, Alex, but also
That's
we
the
have
time.
to put the signs, though. We have to
Yeah, and create
we have to
content.
talk about it now. Like what I mean is that there are teams that show a little bit of stability. There are teams that show different types of play. I'm not saying that Arsenal will win the league. By the way, tomorrow Declan Rice can get injured, then it's gone. Tomorrow Mohamed Salah can get injured, then gone. Rodri, like I can't say that. But the only 2 teams, and I have to.
I don't
say
think
that,
Tottenham has anybody else left to get injured.
Yeah, we got
Okay,
everybody out.
only, and I'm gonna say that people are gonna hate me, and even though I defend Arsenal a lot, the only 2 teams that I have seen multiple seasons go on a 12, 13, 14, 15 games run are Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool. Arsenal have done it in the beginning of last season, but that's it. So you don't have enough credit in the bank to tell me that yes, you will go on a run. Well, Liverpool and Man City, they do. It's as simple as that. That's why I'm waiting for Arsenal to kick on. If they do it this year, we're going to give them credit. But I'm waiting for them to fall.
Well,
But
I
they
mean,
haven't.
2 seasons ago, we went to get top 4. We went up at the beginning of the season, an 8-game run, and the end of the season, a 12-game run under Conte. So
You did.
we can do it.
You're not going to win the league with them.
I didn't say
You
we're
might.
going to win the league. We can finish
Yeah.
above Arsenal. That's
You
what I
can
said.
finish above Arsenal. How would you rate Gomez at right back? I think Gomez's career, I'm going to get Jamie answer, but I think Gomez's career took a big hit after the back-to-back injuries. He's not the same guy. He was amazing before the injuries.
Yeah, the injuries killed him, man. The injuries killed him. But I think Gomez has actually been pretty good this season when he's come in, to be fair. I think a lot of Liverpool fans think it right back is his best position at the moment because
Not the Brighton game, though.
not the Brighton game. Yeah, like, I think what it is, it is with Trent. It's mad what Trent's got. Trent has got great interceptions. He's like number 1 for interceptions for a defender, like a right back, because he's very good at reading the game when it's in front of him. Trent's problem is when the game goes behind him. That's Trent's problem. If the game stays in front of him, Trent reads it quite well and he's intercepting quite well. But when the game goes behind him, he's out of position. That's when Trent's at his fault.
I said it yesterday about Trent.
Right
He's a luxury player, Trent. But because he's that good, you need to tailor to his abilities.
Yeah, you do. All right, here's a question for you, lot. If Trent played for Pep Guardiola, where would Trent play?
Not right.
Where he plays in Liverpool, only he will have teammates around him.
Would he invert or would he put him in midfield?
He'd probably invert.
No, I think
He
he
will
will
never
invert.
Go ahead, Alex.
I think he will invert for one reason. It's going to be natural progression because City is so good pressing teams. It's natural for those players to go with it. It's not like we're going to stay back. They have to go forward. It's natural progression. It's not going to be like, oh, you invert. It's going to be natural there because it's going to be open space there. It's natural occurrence. I don't think it's tactic. I just think the way City plays is going to be naturally going in.
Yeah, I get that.
Guys, hit that like button. There's still 400 people here. We'll talk about Chelsea, and I'm gonna give you my analysis, Alex, and then you can say we can disagree on that. I actually think the penalty should not have stood. The points about the referees, 2 things. Caicedo, the first yellow, I thought was too soft. The first yellow was too soft for him, but he made back-to-back tackles that warrant a yellow, so he should have been sent off. The penalty should not have been a penalty. I think Milner just out-muscled Mudryk off the ball, and the ball went to the goalkeeper, then a tangle of legs. And it's not only me. I checked every pundit. Everybody said that it should not have been a penalty. And actually, I don't think it was a clear and obvious error to overturn it because he didn't give it on the pitch. I don't think that was supposed to be a penalty. And at the end, you showed resilience in terms of defense. I didn't think Brighton had an abundance of chances. I can't remember them having clear-cut chances. You kind of trapped them. Mitoma tried to flop a couple of times. Didn't work for him. I think Chelsea showed good defensive. People kept telling me, so one of the things I wanted to address on this show, I was tagged by Don in a group about, see, Enzo, he scored 2 goals. So now you show up when he scored a penalty and a header. And I'm telling you from now, Enzo in this game wasn't one of the better players. His passing was off. Caicedo was better defensively. Conor Gallagher got the red card. I thought Thiago Silva was okay. Disasi was very good. Badishili was very good. I thought Raheem Sterling lacked a little bit of final product, but he was good driving to the players. Mudryk was good, and I hate to say that, but Mudryk was all right. Was better than before. So for me, Chelsea today, it was all about the result. And Ziad texted me and said, yeah, it was all about the result. He wasn't happy with the performance, especially at home. He said we should have controlled the game more.
I heard his whining, and I told him, go whine at your corner at your house.
Who?
That's what I told Ziad, because I saw him earlier. That's number 1. If you finish, I can go by everything you said. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, I agree. Caicedo actually should have 2 yellows. He should have been sent off. What's his name? Gallagher, brainless for doing, but it happens. think Chelsea needs to readdress the whole attitude on the pitch, and I think it should be addressed by the manager or to the manager, because two captains get sent off in consecutive games. Reece last game, and the captain now again in the next game. I think it's on the manager. The discipline is lacking, and I don't know where Pochettino actually stands on that, because Michael Jackson got seven yellows already this season, and nothing to do with the tackles, nothing to do with the game. It's always about back tacking. So discipline is the problem at Chelsea, and I blame it on the manager, because it's not one occurrence. It's on most of the players. That's number one. We can this way on the game. Penalty should have stood, and if you actually know the law, Milner at any point was not trying to get to the ball. He did the first number one. He put the arm.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but this is not NFL. You cannot put a stiff arm.
you
You can say it is or not. When you run at speed, any touch or any push or any shove can get you off balance. That's number one. Number two, collected of does involve. If you would have shown me where's the attempt of Milner get to the ball, then we can talk about that's not a penalty. But you can watch the replay as many times as you want. He shoves the player before he tries to get into the to the ball. So that's number why it's the penalty. I didn't know the double jeopardy, but I thought it should be a red card too, because clear obvious opportunity. But it's double jeopardy. So that's for me. I think 100% it's a penalty. Then Milner should have been sent off too, because he headlocked the player before, and he got the yellow card for that penalty. So that's how he should have been. What's his name? The other one. I think Enzo had a better game than Caicedo. Caicedo had a stink of the performance today. Give the ball way too much, but I blame it on the collectiveness, because nobody actually helped him. Sometimes he gets caught in the position because he's looking for the pass and he doesn't have it, and he gets caught in the possession. Then the back line, Colwill and Badiashile. I'm sorry, man, but if you are two center backs, how are you gonna let the guy just shoot between
Yeah,
each other?
Colwell is mistaken. How are you training with
Colwill-
this guy last year and you showed him inside on his left foot,
Yes,
and you're a left-footed center back?
exactly.
I had this on my note.
point.
Exactly,
That's-
I had this.
That's my point. You cannot do this. Especially, you cannot do this because you trained
And
with
there
those
was no
players.
overlap, by the way. There was no overlap to worry
Exactly.
about.
And
Show
I
him
was
outside. Yes, it was
the
poor.
two
Very
players came in and they literally gave him room to shoot. To give guy respect, actually really good shot. I will
poor. But he
actually
should
ask
have
the
been showed inside.
Yeah. I still
AB
you
saw
the,
if
the be- no
AB football when you teach the people,
yo
don't show the
Foden missed that
left-footed
kind of
guys
chance.
inside.
Foden missed that kind of chance today. Foden missed it today. You see what I'm saying? But the guy put it on the plate and forward. So it's what I'm saying is it's a great shot. Then again, Colwill on the header, on the set pieces. He was the one that jumped behind the header that scored the goal, the second goal for them.
Yeah.
It was him. And I was like, look, kid, you gotta get you. And that's what I started to actually talk about Thiago Silva often, this season specifically. Because we do have young center back, but for some reason we have a guy that doesn't speak and doesn't show in the set. We conceded in set pieces this season all the time, either in the first phase or the second phase, but we conceded in the set pieces. And I think Thiago Silva, as good as he is, he needs to teach them. He needs to be more. I don't have to. He doesn't have to yell at them or anything. Just tell them. That's all it is. But I think we had the control of the game. I don't think they actually threatened us with anything. We created our own problems, just like all the season. I think Chelsea can beat anybody, including themselves, and any given weekend. That's all my thing. I think a little bit this because it was Brighton, because how many players we took from them, and De Zerbi likes to talk. That's why.
Yeah. I wanted to ask the people in the chat, and I wanted to ask Will, Jamie, and you, Alex, a question. Genuine, right? When I woke up yesterday and I saw all these tweets about Jackson and what he did with that girl on Twitter or whatever,
Oh,
And I really wanted to ask you guys. We're all men here, older guys. We're not young.
Yeah.
We're not young kids, right? It didn't bother me at all. Like I looked at it and I googled it and I saw the Twitter video and I saw what she posted, and I'm like, is he married? The first thing I googled, is he married? Does he have a girlfriend? And it came out no. So I'm like, why is it so, like, why do people care that much that he called this girl or whatever and she recorded him? What do you think, these guys is not human? Like, I really wanted to, did it bother Chelsea fans at all? Why it was like, it's blown out of proportion? Why
I'll
are you
tell
doing
you
this?
why it bothered
Perform
me.
on the pitch first and then call the girls. What are you guys, like, he's a single guy,
I can tell you why it
rich
bothered me.
guy. What is wrong about what he did?
I can tell you why it bothered me. The only reason why it bothered me, because the way she looks. I just think he can do better. That's all. I was like, dude, you gotta do better, man.
It bothers
I don't
me
care
because
who-
he doesn't have his priorities straight, right? A world class striker doesn't get married until his football career's over, just like this guy back there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not even asking her to get married, bro. He's not asking her to get married.
First of all,
The guy's asking her.
least put
for
Harry
pictures
Kane
and
in there
stuff. And
because
I'm
Harry
like,
Kane is actually a striker.
It was
I'm
nuts.
being-
That guy is
I'm
not a
being
striker.
facetious.
bro,
I'm
I
being
woke up, it
facetious.
was all over my Twitter.
I know,
Jack-
same.
It was all over
Yeah.
my Twitter, and I'm like, what is this news? And I'm like, what happened here? Is it a tape or something? I'm like, it's just a call
Yeah,
for a
Do
girl.
you know, Jackson's obviously a very horny man, and he was after some tail.
He's
and
21.
She's easy. Let's face it. She'd probably do all of us. if we
I'm
asked
just
her to.
glad that I
Right.
went through my 20s in the
then
early
you-
2000s
you know what I mean?
because if there was Twitter and everything back in 2000, I'd have been canceled a long time ago. So
And she recorded him. The idiot called her.
I just think
He's an idiot.
I didn't do anything
look,
horrible.
I think it's funny because I
had
don't
fun.
think actually people realize how much this kind of stuff is in there. Like it's just somebody because she's the one that did it, posted, but how much that kind of thing is in the actual, like especially over here, NFL players. Oh my God, basketball players. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like this is happening on basis. And another thing, what John Terry did, what Ryan Giggs did. Like
Yeah,
that was,
that's a scandal. That's a scandal. That's completely different. This is not a scandal.
I know what I'm saying.
It was
No,
all over the news.
no. What I'm saying is this situation is probably blow up more than Ryan Giggs situation.
Yeah, because social media, people want to talk.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm saying.
she
That's what
freaking
I'm saying.
posted it. It was
But
kind of
yeah, it was
nuts, to be
madness.
honest.
Look,
He
I mean,
was
if you're
absolutely
gonna get
awful
in
today,
trouble
by the way.
for what is it? It's like sexting, I guess. We asked her for some pictures, right?
Hey,
Like,
go-
that's
Yeah, he asked for some pictures. Yeah,
big deal.
look,
I mean, she's probably got an OnlyFans anyway. And you just wanted them for free. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
I think she does.
he is.
I think-
That's why he messaged her.
He's probably got a membership.
Yeah,
It's just a single man who fancied a bit. I don't see the big deal. I really don't.
I don't
They
see
just
it.
made a big deal, and some of the big accounts of Chelsea called him out for
I know.
it. Called
Oh
him
my
out,
God.
like called him out and said, "Oh,
Bench
this
him.
is a scandal.
Tell
This
him in
is
January.
this. Sell him." I'm like, what are we talking about here?
I mean, at least he's not slapping girls up like some other players in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Anyway, to be honest with you, and he was atrocious today, so she's not sending him anything. We know that.
she was in the stands actually.
she
She's
told
a
him,
season holder. in the
yeah,
stands.
she
Yeah.
told him, "I'll send you some if you score a goal," and he didn't. So
That's
I'm
why he
afraid
was
that-
upset when he got substituted.
Maybe he realised what he'd done and thought, I better not score today. Maybe
Anyway,
that was the reason.
people, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Alex. Of course, all the channels are in the description. Of course, Vater Games, Jamie, of course, Jamie Phillips, of course, and Will Stewart and Tottenham away. Once Alex has a channel, we'll put it in. Of course, I want to thank everybody that watched us. Get the likes up. Thank you, people, for sticking by us. Thank you for all the support, for everybody that super chatted the channel. We appreciate you. And if you're watching this on the replay, of course, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. UK time, I have Tom and Nobbins to talk about the Man City and the Chelsea and Liverpool game. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Any last words want to say? Will, you want to say something about Ange before we go?
Yeah. Romero's still better than Saliba.
All right.
Ben
And guys,
Davies got this exact same
note-
sofa score today. Last words for me. You see that header that Ben Davies did that set Lo Celso up for his goal, that started that whole run of play? When have you ever seen Saliba do that? And that's where we ended on that.
oh my God, we're ending the stream. People,
Maybe
thank
he should stick to the job maybe he should stick to his number one
Let me
job, which is
check.
defending, than assistant.
Let me
Yeah,
check
but it was
before
a
I
great-
go.
great
Let me
diving header to set
redirect
the
this
transition.
to Jacob. Actually, Jacob is still live, so let me redirect to Jacob before we end. Stay in the stream, people. It will take you to Jacob, who is live at the moment, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And we're out of here, people.
Peace.